Thanks for joining. I'm just going to give everyone another minute or so, and then I will begin. You should be able to see my screen now, displaying the agenda for today. We're going to be going over why you should be using Microsoft Edge over Google Chrome as your browser here at Nassau BOCES. Liff usually moderates the chat for me. Unfortunately, he got tied up in another meeting, so he's not here. So while I am going over my kind of agenda, if something comes up, for you that is a question, just throw it in the chat, and at the end I'll unmute mics and open cameras, and then I'll review everything in the chat. I want to be able to get through the agenda so I could show you all this great stuff, and then we can kind of chit chat and answer questions at the end if that works for everyone. Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing this. I am going to start sharing my screen. I feel like my tech is not teching properly today, so be a little patient. Might have a little bit of tech issues going on here, but we're going to do it. Okay. Okay, so if you just joined, thanks for joining. This is the third webinar, or What the Tech Talks webinar. So thanks for joining. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. If you have, thanks for coming back. Today's topic is why you should use Microsoft Edge over Google Chrome here at your work location for Nassau BOCES. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on why it's just an easier web browser to use, more efficient, and it'll give you some added benefits and tools to kind of help you with your workflow throughout the day. First thing I wanted to quickly show you and just remind everyone that my part of the website here, our Nassau BOCES website, if you go to the employee site by clicking employees on the right-hand side here, and then clicking staff development, my section of the website has all the webinar registrations and dates right here on the calendar. Also, all of my video emails that go out every Thursday are all cataloged here for you. So if you ever miss one of my emails or want to go back to reference one of the videos, can't find it in your email, all of them are always going to be listed here, as well as the webinars. They are all recorded because I know, things happen and people get busy and can't make it, but still don't want to miss it. So again, all of the webinars are also here for you. And finally, if you saw my last week's What the Tech video email, I have added a tab here on the site called Microsoft 365 Tools and Resources, where I'm starting to kind of build a catalog or a resource section for everyone where they can come and be able to kind of have a self-guided, self-directed spot where they can really pinpoint different tools and resources regarding different apps. I know a lot of people have been asking for Excel. I want to make sure that you don't think that I'm not hearing you. So I built out the Excel resources here, a lot of really good stuff here that range from beginner all the way up to advanced. So definitely check these out. So I just wanted to show you guys that really quick. And now we could begin. Okay, so again, not sure how your comfort level is when it comes to using a web browser here at home or here at the office. But I know personally, I was always a Google Chrome person. But when I started here, I felt like because we are a Microsoft-based organization that I really wanted to immerse myself in all of their tools. So I started to use everything in Edge. I used the Edge browser. But I also started to realize it makes a lot of sense to use that here. And the cool thing about it is that they are starting to realize that people like Chrome better, and they pulled in some of the Google Chrome features into Microsoft Edge. So first things first, let's start with signing into the Edge browser. So on the top right-hand side, you can see here I'm signed in as my training account. There's always going to be this little circle in your browser, Edge browser window when you open it. So I urge you and encourage you to click on that circle and then sign in with your NASA BOCES account, because then everything will be synced. So what that means is that if you save bookmarks, sorry, 1 second, I just have to admit somebody. Okay. So if you save bookmarks or anything that you kind of are working on within the browser, if you're signed in and synced, no matter where you go, wherever you sign in, you'll always have all of your resources. So I really recommend you signing in to the web browser and creating that profile here. What that also allows for, and I'm just going to switch real quick into my account, which you could see here. I am also signed in to the browser here, and I have two different profiles set up. So I have mine and I have my training account. So if you do have multiple NASA BOCES email addresses that you might be using, you could also add multiple accounts here. You actually can also add a profile for a Google account if you have one of those that you want to also add as well. So keep in mind that when you're signed in, you also have access here to the waffle on the left-hand side, which allows you access to all of your Microsoft apps, which is a really great tool. So again, just making your workflow easier, not having to navigate too many different places. If you're familiar with the web version of Microsoft, this is where we kind of see those apps. So again, Waffle, and you get to see all of your apps and access any of them. So I could click into my OneDrive right from here. So things like that, definitely worth it. Highly recommend that you, again, sign in and create your profile. This might actually be one of the best features of using the Edge browser over Chrome. If you are signed in, like you should be, you can, anything you search in the web actually will pull up a search through NASA BOCES organization first, which really can be an awesome and useful tool. I'm just going to switch back over here. So for example, if I search myself, you see right here, immediately it pops up at the bottom. It says search NASA BOCES for Theresa DeMatteo. I don't need to click on it there. Even if I just click it here, it'll automatically pull up anything related to me within NASA BOCES first. So it's a really strong tool. Oh, hi, Clef, you came. Yay.
I did.
All right, cool, thanks. So again, now if I click school, here's a plethora of resources all around who I searched and any files that may be associated with that person, any messages that may have gone back and forth with that person. So again, it's almost like a search engine within your NASA BOCES organization as well, not just your regular kind of Google search engine. So I think it really gives you kind of more bang for your buck if you're using Edge, because now you're searching within the NASA BOCES organization as well as just a regular internet web browser search. So I think that's a really powerful tool as well. Okay, next tip I want to show you. If you have open, for example, an article or something that you're reading, and you notice there's a lot of ads and pop outs, and it's very busy and really difficult to kind of focus and just read the information, Edge has something called the Immersive Reader, which I personally think is an amazing tool for multiple reasons. But I definitely wanted to show it to you. So here on the top right-hand side of the search bar, if you see this little book icon with kind of a speaker sticking out, if you click that, that's your Immersive Reader. And you can open this on any website. It gives you a ton of different options. You can have that page read out loud to you. You can change the way that the text looks, the size of the text, the font of the text, the coloring. I know a lot of times people feel like the white background really bothers their eyes, so you can actually change the color of the background of the text. Um, I mean, again, just a lot of different options here. Also, grammar tools. You could choose to highlight parts of speech. I mean, it really gets very in depth. And again, a lot of reading preferences. If you need a line focus or you want to translate this article, all here in Immersive Reader. Highly, highly recommend this tool. I think it's excellent. You can also access this tool by just clicking your F9 key on your keyboard if you wanted a shortcut for it. And then if you need to turn it off, you just click on that book icon again, and it goes back to the original. Right next to that is the read aloud. So if you don't need all those other tools in Immersive Reader, you could just click the A. You could just click the A here up in the search bar. And actually, I don't think I have my sound shared now that I think about it. So you probably won't hear it. But if you click the A, it actually will just read all the way through. And it actually gives you the option to change the speed of the voice and the sound of the voice. I mean, you have a lot of options here. So again, if you're busy working on other things, multitasking, as we all always are, and you need to listen to something in the background being read to you, that option is here for you. Also, forgot to mention with Immersive Reader, if you have to print an article that has all that busyness on it, this is a nice way to kind of clean it up before you print it. And I know that, we're not promoting printing because, of course, we're trying to conserve paper. But if you do have to do that, turn it on in Immersive Reader so that you don't waste paper by printing all of this stuff up here. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, please throw it in the chat. Either Cliff will get to it now or we can answer it at the end. Okay, next up. Okay, pinning a website to your desktop taskbar or installing a website as an app is another option in Microsoft Edge. So I think that's another great feature. So I'm going to pull up my website here on our NASA BOCES website. And I want to be able to pin this website for easy, quick access. So I don't need to necessarily go back and search for it. I want it to always be accessible in my taskbar. So I have the website open. I click three dots over here on the left-hand side next to my profile picture, and then scroll down to more tools. And then right here in the center, it says pin to taskbar. So if I click that, immediately you see at the bottom of my screen, this website has now been pinned here down at the bottom. So in the morning, if I need to check this website, I could just come down here and click it right from here. I don't even need to open my web browser at all. It'll automatically pop that website open. So if you have a website that you're using all the time and have to open and access all the time, this is a great, great tool and great way to use that. You can also, like I said, install a website as an app. So three dots again, go down to where it says apps, and then install this site as an app. And again, what that will do, let me just minimize this. For example, I did that for Canva. So you can see it kind of came up as an icon on my desktop. So again, easy and quick. And then I also pinned it to my taskbar. So goal is streamlining your workflow, making things easy for you, quick access to the things that you use all day, every day. So some of those tools and features are really helpful. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so PDF. I think this is another really cool thing. Sometimes you open a PDF and you need to be able to edit that PDF or add text to that PDF. You could do that right within your Microsoft Edge web browser. So I'm going to open this PDF that I have here. This is actually for Cliff's speaker that I use to do my What the Tech videos. This is the guide. But for example, if I needed to add text on this page that's already a PDF, once it's opened in the browser, I have all these options here. And you could just click Add Text, put your text box wherever you need to, change the color, the size, the font, and start typing. And you have your text saved on the PDF. So again, I know a lot of people need to edit PDFs or at least kind of add information to PDFs. This is a great way to be able to do that. All right, I'm going back here to my website for the next feature. Most of you might be familiar with kind of your snip and save or being able to kind of screenshot. But within Microsoft Edge, they have something called the scrolling screenshot. So, for example, if I need to share this entire page with somebody, um, for a regular snip and sketch kind of screenshot, I would have to do it twice. I would have to do this area, then I'd have to scroll down and do this area. But Edge actually has what's called the scrolling screenshot. And you access that by going Control Shift S, and where it says capture area right here, click that, and you click out and drag and then scroll as far down as you need. Let it go. Click copy. And now it gives you, let's see if I open. I want to show you now that I copied it, how it gives you that entire page as an image. So I'm actually just going to pull up Word, General, and I'm going to click Paste. Hopefully that comes right here. Perfect. So you could see this screenshot now became the entire web page that I wanted to show somebody, and that image can be pasted in a Teams chat, sent in an email, wherever you needed to do that. So I think that's a really powerful tool as well if you're trying to share large sections of whatever on your screen. How am I doing on time? Oh, okay. I'm almost done. Yay. Okay. Two more things. Sidebar. Let me go back to my training. Okay. This sidebar over here, I think is actually a really cool feature. So say that I am on this website here and I'm kind of multitasking doing my work, but then I just remembered I need to check my email because somebody was supposed to send me something. Right here on the right-hand side, I could click the Outlook icon and my email pops up right here. So I have multitasking abilities right here. I also have access to all my Microsoft 365 apps right here and all of my files. You can even drill down into a specific file type that you're looking for. So you could kind of be looking at that here on your sidebar and also be viewing whatever you're viewing on your web page. This tool's little icon I think is really cool. It has a calculator, a unit converter, a translator, a dictionary, and a world clock. And again, all of these could be personalized and kind of edited to be exactly how you want it to be. You can even click the plus sign here on the right and add specific kind of apps to that sidebar, whatever you use on a day-to-day basis. So it really can be personalized to your needs. So I definitely think that's a great tool. And the next thing, the next thing I wanted to show you was collections. So up at the top here, you have your favorites, and your favorites will show up here on your favorites bar, right? That's kind of what people are used to saving favorites to. That if you click that little star on any web page, it'll always pop it here for you. But if you click this plus sign here next to the star, you can actually create what's called a collection. And I want you to think about it almost like a Pinterest board. It creates little cards that you can kind of create a collection. So you could pull in a website, you can pull in an image. It's just a good way to kind of have a group of items that you want to save together. And you can share those, you can add notes to those collections. So another cool tool. And last thing I wanted to show you. If you are diehard Google Chrome and have all your bookmarks and you're like, I can't lose all that, I can't start all over, guess what? Microsoft figured out a way to make sure that you don't have to lose all that. Here on the left-hand side, it says import favorites. If you click that, it gives you the option right here to import your data from Google Chrome. You just have to sign in with your Google account and then choose what you want pulled over into Edge and just click import and it'll pull it all over for you. So they kind of made it very easy for you to switch over. But yeah, I think I am done. I got through all of my agenda. So I think we could open up to any questions, comments, etc. I'm going to stop sharing. All right. Let me just open up. 1 second, going into settings and meeting options. I'm going to allow cameras and mics and save. Okay, you guys should be able to put your mics on and your cameras on if you would like to. Just going to check the chat. Nina, great. I'm so glad that you are enjoying the quick guides. That makes me happy. Yay. Again, if anybody has questions, comments, anything, you should be able to meet on.
One thing
Go
is
ahead.
you showed that little book in the top right-hand corner.
Immersive reader.
Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
see it. I don't have it anywhere. Is there something I have to do to put it on there?
No, you shouldn't have to.
Shouldn't have to. I don't know.
It
Where
depends
is.
on, are you on a web page or are you just on the home page of Microsoft Edge?
I've been going back and forth between web pages and the home page. So, like for example, let me see, I'm on CNET right now, and there's no reader here on
Hmm.
CNET, for example. I have the read aloud page that came up. There's the add to this page and the favorites. The math solver is up there and a share. That's about it. So,
Does your Microsoft Edge browser window look the way mine looked besides that?
pretty much. I mean, I use the sidebar on the left
Mm-hmm.
to go between what's open.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much the same. And I have my profile up top right, and I
Okay.
have everything
That's what I
else.
was going to ask. I was going to ask if you were
Yeah, I'm logged
signed
in.
in. Okay.
Yeah, and sync is on. So I don't know. Maybe I knocked it off somehow. I must say though, the collections is really good. I use them quite often.
Right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually when I was researching to do this webinar, I was surprised that they even had something like that, and I thought it
yeah.
was just a really great feature, you know?
You can make as many as you want, and then you can group pages in them, and they're a great reference if you're doing whatever work you're doing, or you need to
Yeah.
reference a YouTube
Yeah,
video or something. I mean, it's
exactly.
terrific.
Right, like if you kind of want to pull in a YouTube video, a website, an image all together in one collection, it allows you to do that. I think that's kind of a great feature. Mary said that she's also missing some of the items. Are you missing Immersive Reader as well, Mary? And Cliff, I don't know if you have any insight as to why
I
they would be missing.
I do not have any immediate knowledge of why that would be missing from their browser.
Okay.
Okay.
We could check with IT to see if it's something maybe version specific.
Hmm.
I don't think that it is.
I wonder if I could have knocked it off by accident or somehow.
I
If you
think
hit
so.
if you hit F9, do you get it?
No, I tried that. I tried the F9 when Theresa mentioned it.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Send this page QR. No, I get the create QR code for the page. Remember, I'm still on CNET. Send this page, read aloud, and then I add this to your favorites.
Let me try CNET. Let's see CNET.
Settings. Just
Because I'm curious if it's something with theirs. Oh, see, I don't get it on CNET either.
oh, so maybe it's specific.
It might be
to-
something page specific that
Yeah,
the
that
page has to
seems
be
like that.
capable of utilizing
Right.
Immersive Reader.
How about
I'm
that?
I'm pasting in the website that I had opened just because now I'm curious. So if you guys can, the ones who are saying they didn't see it, if you could click that website that I just put in the chat and
Yeah.
see if you see it for that, that would be helpful.
And make sure you're in Edge. So if you have your default web browser as open in Chrome,
Right.
make sure you're opening that link in Edge.
Mary said she's missing the import option. Okay. So if you don't see, let me go back.
Yeah, I got it. I got the
Okay.
book.
Yeah.
Okay. So it
On
looks
the
like
link-
it's website specific then.
All right. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so that looks like it's website specific. So good. I'm glad we solved that problem. And then as far as the import, Mary, you can also go into the settings and do it there as well. And let me just find where that is, and I will go through the steps with you so you can see that. Under profiles, and it should be, okay, there it is. So let me just share my screen again really quickly. And then I'll show you how, if you don't see that folder up on your top left, you can also access it this way. So let me show you real quick. Okay, so 3 dots on your right and then settings. That should bring you right up to your profile page. And then right here, kind of in the middle, it says import browser data, and then that's where you can find it. So let me know if that is helpful for you, if you were able to access it that way.
All I see is your desktop. That's
Oh,
right.
what
Yeah,
happened?
all there was your desktop.
Yeah.
and
Hey.
the tray in the bottom.
Oh, was that better?
There you go.
There you go.
Okay,
Much
sorry
better.
about that. So 3 dots, one more time, 3 dots, settings. That will bring up your profile page. And then right kind of in the middle, it says import browser data. And then it will give you the option to import right here. So just let me know if that solved that problem for you, because I know for me, I agree. In my training account, I do have that import favorites option up here on the left, but I don't have it in my main account in my web browser, in my favorites bar. So that made me actually look for it on mine. So just let me know if that worked for you. And then while we're waiting, if anybody has any other questions, the other thing I wanted to mention quickly is Cliff and I did meet with IT before this webinar. And the goal is eventually to really only allow the Edge browser to be used here at NASA BOCES. So maybe transitioning over and starting to get comfortable with it is a good plan before they rip that Band-Aid off and take away Chrome for everyone. So definitely start getting used to it. Okay, good. Joanne, good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. And Mary, like I said, if you still don't see that import option somewhere, just let me know and I can help you with that.
And just so as a added note on the browser issue and what IT is doing, when new machines are being delivered and set up, no longer is Chrome being installed on them. Now, Chrome could be downloaded after the fact, but you may need IT support to do that, as many users don't have administrative rights to the workstations. Just as a caveat to that, to maybe alleviate any concern, is that actually Chrome and Edge are both built on top of the same technology and essentially have the same engine behind them. So it is compatibility issues and everything else like that should not be an issue.
Yep, that's exactly what I said in the beginning, because I wanted to make sure people didn't panic. Because I said I'm a Chrome user, so I get it. But I think Microsoft picked up on that and they were like, okay, we have to do something to make it, more comfortable. So they're really pulling in a lot of the Chrome features, which is nice.
And I think from Theresa's demonstration, you could see how Edge is a more friendly, work capable browser. And it's linked with all of the other applications that we use, or many of the other applications that we use, for a more seamless experience between
Right.
what you do at work and your interactions with the software. Steve, I wonder if you could clarify a little bit on your comment that you use multiple browsers to access the same software. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Let's check.
The only way is the main software that we use from Frontline. If I have to add another user, it's a lot easier to keep the same one screen open and open the other one in a different browser. Otherwise, it won't work. It won't allow me to. I have to change screens constantly, and then I have to come back to the same spot. There, I can have 2 views open, and it doesn't care that I'm the same user.
Yep. No, so one thing that Theresa, I don't know if you want to share this, but Steve, I'm wondering, based on what you said, if this might help. If you right click on the icon in the taskbar for, let's say, Edge, you can actually open another instance of the Edge browser next to another window that's already running. So if you needed to toggle back and forth between, it's not necessary that you use 2 separate browsers. You could actually open 2 separate windows of the same browser side by side. And Theresa might be able to show you how to do that here.
Is that what you're talking about, Cliff? Where you
Correct.
right click?
New window.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So she
then
has.
New
Go
window or
ahead.
new in private window?
Yep. Correct. So if you have one open, Theresa, maybe you could open up another window and then snap the 2 side by side.
Yep. So
'cause-
here's one, and then here's another one.
So that's actually two instances of Edge running side by side. They're just separate windows. They're not connected in tabs or anything else like that.
You also can open it in a separate tab here. Say, for example, if you have this open and then you could pull it out, you can literally pull the tab out and
Yeah, wow.
it opens itself into a new window. That's another option.
Okay. So
So
maybe I'll
example,
have to
like,
try that out to see if the software will, it should allow it, I would think.
It should.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And again, at this point, it's kind of personal preference, I'd suggest. For those people that have Chrome on your desktop already and are using it, no one's saying immediately stop
right,
using it. What we're
right.
trying to do is prepare
Yeah.
for what's going to end up happening in time, which is that Chrome, I'm not going to say is no longer going to be available, but may no longer be available in a given amount of time. And again, Edge is built on the same technology and it's much more integrated with what we do on a daily basis in the applications we use in the office and for work. So we're strongly encouraging and not mandating, but we're strongly encouraging folks get familiar with Edge, not only because of, again, it may not be available in a certain amount of time, but also because it's more integrated and is more friendly for the work experience.
Right.
And if you've been paying attention to any of the crazy AI type conversations that are out there today and familiar with things like ChatGPT and Midjourney and OpenAI and things like that, Microsoft has already started baking that into a lot of their technologies. So that will start to come to light in the AI technologies that you may be hearing a lot about are slowly but surely, very surely, going to start to present themselves within the Edge browser as well as the Microsoft applications as well. So again,
Right.
better to be riding that train along and leveraging the technology as it gets kind of baked into that work experience that you'll have on a daily basis.
Yep.
I just wanted to point out something. It's for the web select and web capture. If you just right click on the screen, you can select it from there instead of doing Control
Yep.
Shift and X. Or
Yep.
you can also get it from the three ellipses top right.
And that's
Yep.
that's kind of the cool thing. Good point.
Yeah.
That
That'll make it
Microsoft
easier.
does is that there are usually more than 3 or 4 ways to do the same
Yeah,
thing, which
yeah.
kind of is cool because it does allow everybody to be individual and kind of access things the way they want to. So like the way Cliff was saying, oh, you could right click on the browser icon to open a new window. And I said, oh, I could just drag my tab out, right? It's like there's so many different ways to do things, which is awesome. And that's why I think it's so fun to have these kind of conversations, because then you
Yep.
learn something that you may not have learned or knew before.
So interesting comment on that, just because of the nature of what we're talking about. So a lot of people like shortcuts. A lot of people know every shortcut there is. There's shortcuts for everything.
Yeah,
Control
so
Shift
that's-
S, Control Shift this, function that, and allows you to do a bunch of things. I have a friend of mine who actually went through a computing class, and on the first day, the professor took away all their mice and said, navigate your desktop,
Oh my
navigate your
gosh.
files. And they were unable to do it with a mouse, and they had to use shortcuts and start to learn all the shortcuts and things like that. And literally, there are shortcuts, and you can navigate everything and get to everything you need if you didn't have a mouse, which is kind of really interesting. But
Crazy.
there are a few people that get fully, up to speed on every single shortcut that's available. But if you're familiar with it, and if it's something you do a lot, sometimes it is easier just to kind of quickly click a shortcut if you have that muscle memory in your fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Mhm.
that's huge. I think I'd panic if I didn't have them.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm
Hey,
going to walk over in a little bit.
Nope,
Take
you
it
better
away.
not. I'm gonna lock it
Take it
down.
away.
Can't take it.
So,
All right.
any
Well,
other questions for today?
yeah, any other questions, let me know. Mary, I hope that you were able to find that import. If not, you could always send me a chat and I could help you. Please, again, remind people that all of these are recorded, and they could always access any of the recordings so that they could view them whenever they can. You're welcome. Thanks for coming, Joanne. And I'll be sending you a follow-up email with a little poll, couple of questions. Just let me know how we did.
Yep, and that's really important too. So the poll is actually something we take seriously. So we want honest feedback, I suggest, and continue to share with us. So if you're familiar with common kind of concerns or common things that people in your work areas may need and kind of struggle with, let us know. And it's
Mhm.
something that will focus on either with direct training or we'll cover in one of the Theresa will cover, I should say, in one of the What the Tech videos or another webinar. But again, this isn't Teresa's work is not just webinars and What the Tech videos. It's also one-on-one trainings and group trainings and things like that. So if there's something that you think broadly applies, by all means, please reach out and let us know.
Yep, and that's kind of where that resource page came from. Like I
Andy,
said,
you're excluded from that comment.
Oh, thanks. I'm looking at the resource page now. I see you have a video, something for tomorrow. What is that? I see something for the March 2nd.
oh, that's just my What the Tech Thursday emails that go out every Thursday
Okay.
morning. The webinars right now are about once a month or once every 3 weeks-ish.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to take up too much time and not have time to do in-person trainings. But if people think that this is a better platform and they are more likely to come to these than be able to show up in person, that's also something we're kind of rolling around.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. All right, I'll hang on if anybody has any other further questions, but otherwise, thank you again so much for coming and see you next time.
All right. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks.
On What the Tech?
Yeah,
Sorry, that was a horrible impression. I'm sorry.
I am literally so mortified every time I hear myself say that.
Do you do training on Adobe? What elements of Adobe, Joanne?
Yeah.
There's many Adobe products.
Yeah, Adobe's a whole nother beast. To me, it's like Excel.
What about the e-signature? I mean, how many ways are there to get an e-signature on a document? Is it only through
There-
Adobe, or there are other options?
The
There's
preferred method
definitely
is
other
through
options.
Adobe. There are definitely other options. The preferred method is Adobe because it can be a verified signature.
Mhm.
So anytime that we're doing signatures internally where it requires kind of a verified, I know who signed off on this, rather than the Power Apps and things like that, because we know who you are because you're logged into your account. Any kind of PDF or anything else like that that requires a signature should be using a verified signature, which would actually put a date and timestamp as well on it
Mhm.
associated with the signature.
How do you get it verified?
You go through the Adobe process. I can walk you
Oh.
through that.
I was just curious. All right. So there's
But
a whole
also you're logged
background
into
process.
Adobe as well, I believe.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
think
can
so.
log into Adobe
Yeah.
depending on what account you have with the agency. I have
Oh.
trouble editing a scan sometimes. So that's dependent sometimes, Joanne, on the OCR and how legible that that document is when you scan it in. Sometimes the OCR technology gets a little tripped up. We could certainly meet with you and take a look at it, and maybe that's something we take offline, and we could certainly help with that.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
and someone is knocking on my door. Not you, Andy, is it?
No.
Joanne, if you want us to come by at some point to take a look at that and just you could show us what you're experiencing, you could send me an email and I'll schedule a quick meeting for that and we'll just come. Are you in Farber? Okay, perfect. So yeah, just shoot me an email and I'll schedule a quick meeting and Cliff and I can come by.
All right. Thanks, Theresa.
No problem.
Signing off. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, you're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Like I said, I'll hang out until everyone signs off, but if you need anything, we'll be here. Otherwise, have a great day and thanks for coming.
Well, Theresa will be here. I got to drop.
All right, bye, Cliff. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
All right, I'm going to end the meeting for everyone now since it doesn't seem like anybody else has any questions. But thank you again for anyone that's still on. And if you need anything, please send me an email or shoot me a message on Teams, and I'll be glad to help. Have a good day. Thanks.